Hello. Hiya. So this is Sins. It is a supernatural post-apocalyptic role-playing game wherein players take on the roles of Nemissaries, who are reborn individuals back from the dead with the power to manipulate their own bones, shapeshift, the power over time and space itself. They're incredibly powerful beings that have been born back into a very grim world full of like esoteric mysteries and eldritch abominations. Things are going pretty badly for humanity as a whole, but Nemissaries offer hope and the chance to rebuild. Players take on the roles of Nemissaries, and through them they could either save mankind from its post-apocalyptic fate, or damn it further with tyranny or recklessness. The game itself runs on a D6 pool system that we've devised ourselves. We've been working on it now for the past 4, going on 5 years, so it's been put through the ringer, so to speak, mechanically. It's been play tested very thoroughly, it works very well. We have our core rulebook, which contains everything that you need. Feel free to take a look.
Yeah,
that's got everything in it. It's got the GM's guide, the player's handbook, the monster manual. Everything is in that, that you need to play games for the foreseeable future. It's fully illustrated, 357 pages. So that's everything that you need. We have been shortlisted this year for the Best New Role-Playing Game of the Year award. We have a company and accessories as well, so we've got a GM screen here. I was here last year. We had a very small table in the corner. I spoke to a lot of GMs there and a lot of players asking what it was that they like to see on their GM screens and what I would like to see on the GM screen as the writer, and I've tailored this GM screen to everything that you need to run the game. It's not necessary, but it's just a big help in keeping the game fluid and in motion. It's a very cinematic, very narrative game. It's got a lot of mechanical depth for those who like it, but ultimately everything that you do mechanically has an effect narratively. The best example of this is the powers that Nemissaries can use. They rely on a resource called anima, which is regained by making humans experience emotions. So everything you do in the world should really you should be making a difference if you want to keep using your cool powers. Otherwise you might find yourself quite spent and exhausted if you're, secluding yourself or being something of a combat monster. The game itself, I'm happy to do a small demo of how the engine works if you'd like.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So the core mechanic of the game, that is the most base level, is much like any other role-playing game. The GM sets a target number. So let's say, for example, in the game, you are running down an alleyway and have to jump over a fence at the end. You're being chased. And the GM might say, okay, to get over that fence, I'm going to need for you to get 2 successes. So what they would do is, they would roll 4 dice. The GM would say, backtrack a little bit there. The GM would say, oh, can you make me a body athletics roll if you are going to just haul yourself over this fence with pure strength. Hypothetically, if that player was like, oh, I want to somersault over it gracefully, they might say, okay, then roll me prowess athletics instead. Okay. It's very fluid and can be changed on the fly depending on how you want to go about your actions. Let's say if they were doing it on body athletics, they'd take 4 dice because they have 4 in body. They would take an extra dice for their fate, which is the nearest thing that Sins has to a level. That's their narrative importance, for want of a better explanation. So you take 5 dice in total, and you would need 4 ups if it's a body athletics check. So 4 in body, plus 1 from your fate for a pool of 5, requiring a rolls of 4 ups for the athletics. Let's roll these. Okay, so that's a success, and that would also be a success. Hypothetically, let's say that was a 6. 6s count as successes, but they also explode, so they roll again. Another 6, so it rolls again, so it explodes. Another 6. Another 6. Wow, this is some roll, and a 4, so we don't explode there. So this roll has definitely succeeded. They have hurled themselves over the fence. They've got all these additional successes. In a lot of games they would maybe go to waste or not contribute to the story. In Sins, with its cinematic play, these can be used to maybe help another person over the fence, or perhaps take a shot at something that was chasing them, or perhaps both. Extra pool can be awarded through describing things in a cinematic way that engages the rest of the players at the table, or your pool can be boosted through the use of your powers known as Arietta. So that's basically the core mechanic of the game. There are lots of other small nuances and ways that you can influence pools and results through the powers, but everything ultimately feeds back to, well, you better have the anima to back up your powers, and you better be making a difference in the world and driving things forever forward. It ties together mechanics and narrative in a very nuanced and finely balanced way. So neither power gamer nor narrative gamer is ever at an advantage. Everyone's just all having fun, building a narrative and just getting along at the table at an equal pace. There's no levels. There is a very loose class system that's more based on ability and personality type rather than it is outright classes. And the world itself is very intrinsically tied to like the mythos and the kind of characters that people play. Any questions?
It reminds me a little bit, not necessarily a question, a little bit of the World of Darkness.
Yeah, we take a lot of design cues from World of Darkness, the old White Wolf stuff. When we started writing this, like six years ago or so now, there was like a bit of a gap in the market. White Wolf weren't really like, publishing much around that time. And we just put a load of ideas that we thought were cool to paper, and the end result is this. We're here today with this. We were here last year prior to our Kickstarter. We built up a little following there. Since then, we kickstarted in September. We asked for 5,000 and we ended up getting 30,000. So we've since shipped worldwide to both individuals and retailers. Our last copy shipped out a couple of weeks ago now to like the more far-flung destinations. So we're here today just building up a fan base, building up interest, and just really getting the word out there of Sins.
Yeah, where can people go if they want to pick it up?
So we have a list of our retailers in the back of the book. Those who backed us on Kickstarter can be found in the back of the book. Alternatively, Travelling Man have just put in an order for several copies. They have some over their store today, and I imagine it will probably appear in their shops soon. Additionally, our website is currently under construction at sinsrpg.co.uk, I believe.
Okay, cool.
The website's under construction, but it does have a list of retailers on there as well that you can find in the core rulebook. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter. We have a lot of information on there. We're always engaging with fans, and we're picking up the activity on there and keeping things moving. Just keeping a fan base engaged really as we go along.
Do you have like a Quickstart?
We do, yes. So that's the core rulebook. We also have Dead City, which is a pre-written adventure. It is 3 to 5 hours long, depending on how competent your play group is. It's got 5 pre-written characters in there, and also a demo version of the game's engine. So it's everything you need to play just in that book. That's £8 for the wide cover, or it's £10 for these event exclusive covers that we've got here today, just for this weekend. And if you enjoy that, at the end there's a narrative link to tie in the characters that you made for that adventure to the full core setting. So that takes place before the apocalypse, but if you want to tie it in and continue it into a post-apocalypse game, there's a small scenario in the back of that allows you to do so.
That sounds cool. Oh, thank you very much. Cheers.
No problem. Thank you very much for your time.